Hi, welcome to What I Tried, What I Learned, where I share things I've tried before in my business or personal life as a neurodivergent person, and what I learned from it, if it worked, if it didn't work, and how both of those things, um, like how it benefited me. So today I wanted to talk about what I'm calling homework, like adult homework, things that you're asked to do outside of a specific time. And so let me specify. So I do bookkeeping for clients who have small businesses, and so sometimes I have to ask them to send me like statements or to answer some questions that I have for them. And so, and also some clients I will meet with on a monthly basis, and that time that we meet together is like a specific appointment. It's a set time with the set length of time that we meet and talk. And so I would call anything that we do outside of that as like homework, if that makes sense. Because it's something you need to do in your own time and not when we're together. So, like answering questions, getting me statements. Now, we could do that in our time together, but then that means we don't have time for other things like talking about what your numbers mean or how your business is doing or any other questions you have about your business outside of just answering my question of what is this Walmart expense for? So I would call that homework, like adult homework. And personally, I have conflicting feelings about it because I get the importance of doing that. Like in my example, it's like if they can do that outside of our time together, we can use that time to focus on more in-depth, serious questions. But as someone who, like, if I get that kind of homework, I also know it's like one more thing in my brain to try to make time for. And that can be hard. Because there's just so much stuff you have to think about and plan for and schedule in that one more thing can sometimes just feel like too much. And for me, I know that's a sign that I've either hit some limit or I have too much on my plate if I start feeling overwhelmed by just one more thing. But also, and the reason I wanted to record this is because there's a way to work with that instead of against it. And this was inspired by actually like meeting with a client because I have a client who I meet with monthly, and they will usually before we meet use that time to like go through all the questions, get me stuff I asked for. So they'll kind of use that time to do it right before we meet. And now, and I remember like if you're in school and you do that, it's like you've been procrastinating, you've been putting it off, you're not taking it seriously, like why would you wait until right before the class to get the work done? And so I kind of have carried that feeling of like this, it's a bad thing that you would wait until right before time set aside for like that class or that meeting to get things done. So yeah, like that's kind of like the before how I used to feel, but now how I have changed my perspective on that is that it's more like habit stacking. I don't know if you read the book, James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, where he talks about habit stacking, where you set one habit, and then once that one's like set in your schedule, then you can add another habit on top of that one, and it kind of helps you like build more habits. So I'm now viewing how I approach like homework as habit stacking. So let's say that like if I was that client, I actually do have examples of like I took like a voice lesson class and they give you homework, but I would usually do it like the day before, or I also took a language class and they give you homework, and I would probably either do that homework like after the class concluded or before the next class. So, you're supposed to do that over time so you get more practice. But I've just learned to work with myself. Like for me, since I have that specific time scheduled for the class, that's set in my schedule, like I'm going to show up. So the time before, it's kind of like the perfect time to do homework because my brain is thinking about it. It's in the mood for it. And so it's not procrastination, it's habit stacking. And something else like recently I joined a like a writing group, like to help you write a book, because I always wanted to write a book. I have an idea, and I figured this group would be a good way to see if I can like get that done or not. But the thing about what interested me is that it's someone who is neurodivergent leading the group for other neurodivergent writers. So it's like focused on like neurodivergent people, how our brains work, and so it starts next week, and like this week and the week before, they kind of just sent out messages like letting people know what's coming up, what to expect. But also, what I really liked about it was they said, like, hey, if you want to like do these things early before we start, that's fine. You can go ahead, but you don't have to, because I know that the way we work, it's just we'll do everything when we actually start. So they basically didn't give us homework. They gave us permission not to do homework before it starts, and that made my brain feel so happy. It felt like one less thing to worry about. Like I can just wait till everything begins to like focus my brain. And yeah, that just felt really good, like a relief. And so for what I want to do, like with my business and anything else I do, is try to set it up to be that way, like more neurodivergent friendly. But really, it's good for if you're overwhelmed. Like you don't have to be like autistic or ADHD to feel overwhelmed, or like there's just too much in your schedule on your plate. So I kind of want to set up how I work with people so like it works with you and not like against you, trying to make you do something that's hard. Like I want to work with how we naturally work, so that it's like you can spend less effort and then use that energy to like to whatever your goal is, like not use the energy trying to like work yourself up to the goal, because you already want to do it. So anyway, that was just the point of this recording this, just like work with yourself. And then so first you have to learn how you work, and then work with that instead of working against yourself, because that's just like a lot of wasted energy.